Hey guys and welcome back to another video here. Today we're doing What If Deku was a Girl and a Todoroki Part 3. In the last part we pretty much just had Todoroki. Yeah, I know Saito Todoroki, but I tend to call Saito, to me at least, I always find calling Saito Todoroki. I always just find calling him his last name easier. Or at least it's the only thing I tend to remember. So yeah, anyway. Yeah, with Deku or Ryu, as he's known in this timeline, world, universe, whatever. Yeah, it was her and as her brother, Saito, parents. I'm pretty sure. I think I said in part one that he would either in part one or part two that he came over. I'm not really sure, but yeah, I still can't remember. And I should really look at part one, watch part one and part two all the way through, but I can't be bothered. So yeah, I just watch mostly parts of it to understand where. Well, I watched the start and beginning, so then I know what I've put in the middle. Because that's what I need to jog my memory, roughly. Anyway, so pretty much in the last part, Todoroki, or Saito, Saito pretty much came round with Ryu, or Deku as I prefer to call her. Saito came round and just, spoke to their mum after a long time of not speaking to her, and, well, I think it was like that after a while, a period of time, they all of a sudden heard an explosion. They ran out and found out she had pretty much launched herself somehow into a tree. And as they pretty much helped her out, they had to almost run to the side as the tree fell towards them, or where they were previously standing, as she'd tried combining both her fire and her ice, successfully managing to do that, but then getting very excited and losing concentration, which meant her cold went to I think -20 ice. Yeah, her ice went to -20, and her fire went to I think I said around 500 to 1,000 degrees. Well, or it was lifting up to 1,000 degrees it was at 100 and her ice was at 0, and then as her ice dropped to -20 and the fire lifted from 100 upwards, it pretty much caused an explosion with such close proximity, sending her back into the tree. So yeah, and pretty much Soto also managed, while she is now starting to teach her how to kind of control his heat, because she knows her body she can subconsciously do it all the way down to her ice and fire being her fire being pretty much 0, because if a fire is 0 then it can't melt anything. Well, technically it can, because if you've got ice at say 20 and -20 and the whole room is -20 and you've got fire at 0, well, you are going to melt the ice. Well, but no, her fire at the very tips will actually match the coldness of the ice, and of course then slowly ramp up to whatever she sets the main tip to, because she can set the main tip to currently around 100 is the best she can do, which of course her brother's one, which is now standardly at 1,000, or that is, I don't know, but that's his default is 1,000, but he's able to pull it back at least 1 degree. That's what he pretty much managed to do before he pretty much got exhausted. Well, she can't, because her subconscious, also when she's using a fire, will put a very small amount of ice, and then as she ramps up the fire, of course, all the way up to then like crimson blue, the crimson blue fire, her ice switches from her kind of normal, almost what she can do, glass like ice, to her blue ice, which at its most condensed form cannot be melted by anything else besides from her crimson fire, her hottest fire she can currently do. And pretty much that then starts to cover her body, then keeping her body then under control, as she is able to do a hottest fire, but it takes her stamina, of course, takes a huge hit, as it's pretty much firing two quirks at nearly 100%. So yeah, as generally she's actually using subconsciously two quirks at once. If she's using her ice, she's got like a fire in her belly to keep her body warm so she doesn't actually get frostbite or that, or ice build up on her skin, which would then slow her down, and then eventually should, I guess, pass out or unable to use her quirk because of how cold she got. But again, her body will always activate both quirks at the same time. It just depends what one she activates. Her conscious self activates. So if she wants fire, well, her body will then be in a layer of ice. Very thin. Nobody can see it, but it is there. So she can use her fire without damaging or overheating. More so damaging and overheating, but yeah. Anyway, with that out of the way. Yeah. So of course, she went to sleep. And it's the next day. Which means it's all maths class. At the end of the day, of course. So when she walks in, she sits down as her brother Todoroki. Yes, Todoroki, not Saito, Todoroki. Well, Saito pretty much comes in and goes, hey sis, I managed to, once I got home, I think I managed to lower it a little bit more, but I've got a really long way to go. It's like, well, yeah, it did take me a while, and it still annoys me that I can't match my flame to whatever my ice is. Like, what do you mean? Well, think, when I use my fire or my ice, pretty much both my quirks work at once. Pretty much allow me to, to use my fire with no repercussions, and my ice with no repercussions. It's like, yeah. And it's like, and of course you're trying to learn that, and what the annoying thing is that, of course my ice's default coldness is -20, and of course when I use my fire, that -20, well, at the flame that's touching the ice or barely above the ice, the very thin layer of ice is at -20, then it slowly ramps up to then go, of course, like generally around 100 degrees at the tip, which is I'd say, Deku or Ryu's default is 500 degrees. It used to be 1,000, but she's managed to pull it back over the years of learning how to control the temperature of her fire, and of course her control over her ice. She's able to make her ice pretty cold. She is able to make at least cold and dense enough ice that yes, mostly any fire can melt it, but it would have to be either Todoroki or Endeavor's fire. It would have to be pretty much quite hot, or crimson. Crimson, like the crimson blue fire, will just rip right through it. So that's why she's got a blue ice, which, like a crimson blue, if Icy's starting to figure out there's a level of fire even hotter than that, which I'll just have it go to white because I don't really know. I know blue, well, I do know blue is the hottest fire, but I want at least something beyond, the blue fire. So, well, I guess you guys think of the name in the description below, and also think of a colour of what it would be. Yeah. And any colour. Any colour, I don't care. I guess except for brown, because I don't know. I think brown is more or less just imagination of our brains and us assigning a dark orange, that colour. So yeah, anyway. Yeah. And so well, at least we've gotten a little bit better, right? It's like, yeah. It's like, yeah, and I've been stuck at, trying to lower my flame even, well, down by a degree since I got to 100, and it's hard. Once you hit 100, getting it down more, it takes a lot of time and effort. It's like, well, yeah, I can kind of understand as you're pretty much concentrating pretty hard anyway to get to 100, right? Is that one? I don't know, maybe. It used to be, but of course, the more use you get to it, in theory, the easier it becomes, but in I think actuality, you just become a lot smarter, so it is easier. You're still using, well, you're not using the same percentage as your brain rewires to pretty much more efficiently do that task. And yes, so yeah, anyway. And well, as Arena comes in, does pretty much some room, then leaves. As I think it was, I can't remember his name, but thinking with speakers around his neck. He then takes up the class which is for maths, I think. I'm not 100% sure. I think he does maths. Or the UA teachers do, the teachers do really a lot of random subjects, or they're just assigned, once once this teacher does, registration, then you take over and you do all of these for the day. And as they're, going through, and Deku's pretty much just going, this is pretty much just like a normal high school. The only difference is just that, they've got pro heroes teaching us. And of course, it reaches then to the end of the day, which then All Might. Well, actually, sorry, before I even forget, of course, there's the scene where oh no, that wouldn't actually happen. Well, yeah, it would. Never mind. Yeah, it'd be where I can't remember their names. The news reporters, pretty much. Somehow managed to, break into school, break into UA, which is actually because of Shigaraki managed to pretty much turn the front gate to dust. As he pretty much, came and learnt that, the USJ and where All Might would be, and then pretty much left. As if you watch that episode, or at least when I've watched it, I've managed to see Shigaraki. That boy, the person who touches 5 fingers and pretty much turns anything to dust. That boy, yes. And of course, Dylan goes off, and so it should be that could be there were reporters out there. Maybe they found a way, over that thing, and todoroki is that. I would say, should be with her brother. Mostly doing school, because why not? I don't know, maybe. So yeah, who knows? Like, who knows? Because the alarm's going off and they're just calmly talking to one another. As then, she goes over to look as Em's, running out. She, goes over to look out and she pretty much has a sight to everyone. Alright, everyone, stop. It's only the report staff managed to break in. As then they all, glance over to the window and they actually see it. And then slowly everything starts going back to normal, but Deku and Todoroki know that can't just be, like, that's just not normal for, like them to manage to run through the front gate like that. And, so they managed to, of course, beat the teachers down there, and they reckoned that because Deku said this was turned to dust. So the gate was already up, because I'm guessing the reporters tried stepping in and the gate, all UA defences, activated and the gate got shot up. Or down, however it closes. And, well, yeah, it was then someone managed to, I guess, turn it to dust. I'd either DK, type crack and managed to turn it to dust, as you can see here, because I'd say, this dust pretty much belongs to the gate. This was the door blocking out the reporters. So, like, it's like, well, I guess so. Well, just to avoid, the press coming in, I think we should do something about it. It's like, yeah, but then at the end of the day, we'd have to melt the ice. So, so you already knew what was It's like, yeah, kind of. I knew you wanted to put ice there, but by the end of the day, it would have either melted or, and plus the teachers are probably going to be here any minute now. I was right on cue, the teachers coming there. Well, it'd be Aizawa and the principal. The principal go, Ryu and Shoto, what are you doing here? It's like, we came to investigate how, the reporters just managed to, quite easily walk through the gate. And I've kind of figured out that either one of the reporters or someone, passing by had a DK crack, because all the stuff around the gate is what I've determined the actual door that used to be here. And he's like, interesting. I think you could be right there, Ryu. Yeah, I think we'd have to investigate this more, but I think you're, onto something. As I was like, shouldn't you be, back? Shouldn't you be, having your lunch or that? It's like, yeah, but then, once it gets caught off by, a horde of reporters, running through, you tend to, well, or at least I tend to like investigating the random stuff that happen instead of having lunch. Also, I finished my lunch anyway, so I've just been there stuck talking with my brother. So this pretty much gave something, something for me and my brother to do, so yeah. And yeah. And of course, then, goes, well, you better off, going back to class now, as I think class is about to start. And like, okay, fine. It's like, what, so are you going to be there then? I was like, oh no, someone else will be there. She thinks, someone else. Well, we've had President Mike there all day. Maybe All Might. Maybe it's time for actual hero training. She goes, hey brother, what do you think, but as I was saying, do you think maybe it could be All Might? Because, All Might could be, All Might's here as a teacher, and I'd think, they talk about a bit And then, of course, as they get there, they sit down as everyone else comes in, and they're like, well, who's going to be our teacher now? I was, oh, mate, slams the door open and goes, I am here walking through the door like an ordinary person, or like a normal person. And that's what he says. And a lot of people pretty much like, oh my god, it's on my, as Todoroki and Deku wouldn't really react. They'd just go, so it was alright. How about that? Todoroki's like, yeah, you was right. And, then, All Might pretty much says, I'm gonna be your teacher I'm gonna be, your teacher for the next hour or two, and we're gonna be doing pretty much hero basics. You'll be able to wear your what's it called, hero costumes. So meet me at Field Gamma, and and whatever he says, and as he then goes, and everyone else, grabs their costume or their case as they go down into the changing rooms. And then as pretty much, well, I don't know, not a lot of people, well, I don't know, I guess some people, I don't know, I don't think nobody would really talk to Todoroki, because Minato would try and, he would, be looking at the wall and then he would move something and then find a hole peeking right through as, that could feel someone, someone staring at her, as then she sees a hole and she's like, that poor boy, he's gonna lose an eye. As she puts her hand on the wall, and then just all Minato can see is just black, and then all of a sudden, eye freezing cold. Yeah. As Todoroki's just like, oh, that's cold, I guess. That's what you guess for peeping into the girls. Then he's like, wait, that. As then, he quickly then realises that eyes, eyes, because it's not it's not a blue eye, so he's like, but he's lucky that, because he hasn't, managed to lose an eye or that, but, as he walks over to Minato and pretty much, he eats something good, and Minato's like, thanks, Todoroki. He's like, you dare peep into the girls' changing room again, and promise I will happily freeze you to death. He's scared as Minato's then scared for his life. As Minato, quite cold, says, I promise, Todoroki. Minato's not. He's still going to be a part of it. Yeah. As the guy's just down boys like, well, no, it's only Minato. People in, he's like, he's lucky, because I was thinking about, freezing his face off, but I thought, nah, better not. And so I just throws his face to the wall, and then my brother would have started, freeing him up, then probably would have smacked him about and threatened him. And, as then they, finish getting changed, as they all walk out, they just see Minato there, who's still shaking as almost, you okay, Minato? And Minato says, yeah, just a bit cold, that's all mate. As all the guys just like cheer, but how cold did you make your eyes? He's like, not that cold. Just, I guess, default. I just used it on instinct, which is her default, which is -20. So, well, I guess No, because I used it on instinct alone, it was probably minus 20. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm pretty, I'm pretty sure, he's learned his lesson by now. He's like, if I'm going against him, while I'm using my blue ice and making sure he's frozen in place. So, yikes. She then thinks, maybe I can use. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe, who knows? But I was like, what is she plotting? So I'm gonna feel sorry for Mineta. If Mineta's, against us. Well, luckily for, Mineta's pretty much continued being alive sequence, he's not going to go up against Deku or Ryu. Yeah, or todoroki for that match. For the thing, as they would as they'd, they'd go like similar in canon, but because her fight, she'd go, we could just win this pretty easy. It's like, how? Well, I can pretty much freeze the entire building. So you can say, yeah, because the only person it probably wouldn't stop is, pretty much, that hot-headed boy. So, not unless I pretty much froze all the corridors solid. But I'd have to do that from the roof, so then, I don't actually end up killing him. As I would say, as then All Might says pretty much just go, So, what do you want to do? He's like, well, I'm going to the roof. And, Uraku would just follow her. As she pretty much make an ice path, but making sure, not even the villains can see it. As she would, walk all the way up it. And then melt it, so then nobody would know, she's up there, or someone's up there. Then she'd go, I'm gonna feel so sorry for you. And she'd go, and Uraku, you may want to, get off the ground. If you don't want your feet frozen to the floor. She'd okay, she'd pretty much do zero gravity on herself, and she'd lift herself up as she's like, sorry you guys, I just really want to win this. And within a second, all you see is just ice. Pretty much every floor is there is breathing space, mind you. And of course, Baku goes not happy. He's pretty much frozen solid. It's pretty much all the way up to his neck. Well, the only thing above the ice is his head, pretty much. He's pretty much, dang it. As he's just getting more and more angrier, and as Deku manages to pretty much heat up the cement, pretty much creating a plasma. Well, yeah, like plasma, like towards she pretty much heats, does a circle around concrete, and then as it falls down, she, jumps down and just walks over and touches the bomb. As everyone would be just frozen, either frozen solid to the ground, like Ida is, because it's in a large room. So she didn't exactly want to, freeze the entire room solid, because that's pretty anti-productive. As is so cold. As the rest of them, also freezing. The hero team wins. So cold. I'm gonna have to map this pretty quickly as well. And she pretty much as she would do a crimson blue heat pretty much, and just near enough how much to vaporize all the ice, because she's got that level of control. She's just not able to control both of them currently at the same time. Or she is when there's no sound at all, and she's 100% focused. So she is still trying to combine them both, and then once she well, she has successfully done that. She's just trying to make it so it's, like subconscious for her, and that she's actually then, when her flames, are going, she's able to pretty much go, oh yeah, at this distance, I want you to then pretty much heat up to, say, 500 degrees, and pretty much cause an explosion away from her, so she doesn't get, well, she would still get flung backwards, but not as bad. So yeah, pretty much a timed explosive instead. As what, she's trying to do is get the fire and the ice closest together, or her ice and her fire closest together at 0, so then there is very little in the way of an explosion, or none at all, as they would be the exact same temperature. Yeah, and she's can kind of do it, just again with extreme concentration. As as well, todoroki's like, I guess that's my sister for you. She's always been, the one to be able to pretty much freeze a building within a millisecond, and then heat it up again in a millisecond. I'm guessing, she could have probably heated the building up so much that it would have, completely turned to, well, probably cracked or turned to lava. Who knows? I don't really want to know. Yeah, as all the other matches pretty much go the same. Yeah, and pretty much Bakugo would just go, huh. So I guess it's pretty much like brother, brother like sister or sister, man, whatever the saying is. Yeah. As he's pretty much like, they've got the same crotch, and yet they look completely different. With Ryu having pretty much a pinkish hair. I currently haven't 100% settled on what type of hair she would have. I'm just saying, the colour for now is like pinkish red, like Natsu's. That's the kind of hair I've settled on for now, but not probably forever. As well, Todoroki's would be the same, and yeah, and I've already forgotten his name. Bakugo would just, I know, I'm pretty sure that ain't his actual name. That's just what Deku calls him. But yeah, that would just be, like Ryu's, pretty much got almost the same abilities as her, I guess, twin brother, Todoroki. Whilst he can only use his fire on his left and his ice on the right, I think, or it's the other way around. And whereas his sister Ryu can use her fire and ice all over her body, either on the left or the right. It doesn't pretty much matter, or on the left foot and her right hand, pretty much. Yeah. And he's like, damn, put those two on the team and you've pretty much gone unstoppable. Do is like, and Ryu would try again. Well, I'm an unstoppable person, as I can use my fire and ice, in two separate hands. I just can't bring them together, because bring them together and you get boo. Like pretty much having experience with, doing the ball throw. Well, less me throwing and more me just creating an explosion right behind the ball, flinging it forward. Yeah. And well, yeah, as all mate's kind of thinking that, like young, who thinks, that young, that, Ryu is very young. I think she would be a good candidate for, all for one for. I was just all thinking on, like, who to give one for all to. he still wants to, like observe Deku and a million or 1 million, a million, whatever his name is. Yeah, the guy with the permeation crack in season 4. Yeah. Yeah. And so yeah, Deku will be, well, if you guys haven't watched part 1 or part 2, I'm not, but I think I said in part 1, I'm pretty sure I did, but Deku still will be getting, one for all, because I still think, she would still get it, just she won't exactly use it all the time. Yeah. But she will definitely be the strongest hero. Well, she technically is the strongest hero already, being able to pretty much, like her normal, I guess, would go down to like minus, I think, 100 to minus 150, 200. Then she's able to do like blue eyes down to almost like minus 1,000 to minus 1,000. Currently, she's able to do it, down to minus 1,000. With, of course, her fire, her hottest fire, which is crimson blue, but she can start to see, like the colour of white in it. She's thinking, this can't be because, the hottest fire is blue, so, the only possible thing would just be for me to heat it up, but it's like I'd say the chemical that's used for it to produce her fire, of course, the hotter it gets, well, the more I'd say it uses, the more, colour it turns into, which you guys can tell me the colour in the comments down below, but for now I'm going to use white. Yeah. It is, yeah. I just don't, well, yeah, as it's getting, I'm not exactly sure how hot a blue flame is. I'd have to look up on that. I will, between now and part 4, I will look up on that, so in the next part I can pretty much say. Oh, I'm tired. And yeah, in the next part will probably just be another part where, Todoroki's and maybe someone else is coming over. Who knows? You just have to wait for part 4. And also, I hope you guys, enjoy that, So, like, there's, a part with school and then maybe a part or 2 without, school, and it's just, like family time and, like training. Like, a bit of training and family time and that. And some other stuff, which, yeah. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next part of the video, depending on what I do, and I guess, hey, goodbye. Don't know where I was going. Guys, if you have enjoyed this, if you enjoyed it so much and you want to see more like this, subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Well, no, part or video, depending on what I do. And hey, good. Bye!